Hello and welcome to another, that's right, Eternal Draft. We're going to go for yet another 7-win victory today. Let's give it a shot. Okay, so we've got, we've got this Breathed Stranger. It's just the Lifesteal 4/4, it's not too bad. Kind of puts us into those colors, green, purple. Vera's Choice. Also, it's an okay card. Can silence a unit in player's hand and make them discard it. That's not a terrible use. Can also be used to bounce something back to someone's hand. Xena Initiation is removal. It's pretty uncommon. It's an uncommon card, but for that color, it'd be good. Sparring Partner is so-so. Valkyrie Denouncer I kind of like. Xenon Stranger is just Stranger. Yeah, so given this, I don't know. Maybe we take the Xenon Initiation. It's usually pretty good. Valkyrie Denouncer is also a card I like. It's probably between those two. Well, I'll take the Denouncer. I like the Denouncer. Might be a mistake, but whatever. Yeah, probably. We see a Plated Golem. It's pretty nice. Hunter's Harpoon is also pretty good. Draws a card every time this hits. I've never really had success with it, but it seems good. Caleb's Choice also nice. It's a counterspell or destroys an attachment. Probably you use it as a counterspell most of the time, but can be okay. Here I think we're going to take the Goliath. We're just going to be a little bit sad we didn't get that Xena Initiation. Sandstorm is definitely a pretty good card. We've got 3 different strangers to choose from. Maybe we play some kind of 3-color something. We also have Roosting Owl, which I like. We're kind of undecided at this point what we're doing. I'm just going to take the Sandstorm because it's fairly good if we end up in that color. Some strangers, some kind of not so great shadow cards. Prosecutor Arms is definitely playable though. I think we'll take that. Here we have Vera's Choice again. It's not that great. Kopesh is not very good. Envelop not very good. Shield Bash. These are all kind of lame. Firemane is okay because the 1 damage. But Streetwise Informant is probably the best card in this pack. It's just an unblockable, and we can pay 5 to gain some life or some armor. So that can keep us in the game while we finish someone off. So it kind of goes for the kind of a longer game. Might end up like a green-purple or something. Here we have Memory Keeper I don't really like. It's a little bit underpowered, especially the 1 life. It doesn't trade very well. But the Sentry is just a 3/3. It's not too bad. In these colors, the bonus effect is almost never going to actually happen, except for, okay, I guess Prosecutor of Arms. He could mentor the Sentry. Tinker's not too bad. I'm just going to take Sentry. Mortar is really nice, but I just don't feel like we're actually going to play that at this point. We don't have any cards in that color, but it's really a late pick for Mortar. Given what we currently have, I'm tempted to take the Silver Wing. It's not amazing by itself, it's just a 1/1 revenge, but it also is a Valkyrie, which is relevant. There's that 1 green card that cares about having Valkyries, which can be a bomb, especially if you have a couple of these guys or something. Here we've got a Amber Ring. Gives us some Explorers. Trail Runner, this is charge is basically useless on this card. Okay, can charge in for 1 damage. Fallen Oni, it's okay. If we're splashing purple for these two, and we're just doing like a Justice Time type of deck, Fallen Oni's not going to make it. So let's go for Amber Ring. Here's definitely a Stranger. We're not going to play Pack Hunt or Envelop. This is too expensive. It's not a trick, it's slow speed. And Envelop just bounces something to the owner's hand, so unless there's an equipment on that creature, usually just slows him down a little bit at the cost of a card for us. So it just hurts us to have. We're not going to take the banner. At this point, we're going to take the second Silver Wing. Might not play it unless we get that Valkyrie card I mentioned. Here we'll take the Swear Vengeance. It's probably also not getting played. Okay. Here we've got Righteous Fury is pretty interesting. I don't have a full playset of that. Double damage and lifesteal to 1 creature, but it's wrong color. Find a Way just draws us 2 lands, which is not particularly great. Crownwatch Paladin is a really good card. It's 2/1 Aegis, so it's protected from 1 effect, and it's his Warcry. And so that can make our Silver Wings much more interesting. Same thing with our Valkyrie Denouncer or our Streetwise Informant. Getting a Warcry on any of those cards would be pretty nice. Ceremonial Mask is also very good. It's just, it's not only removal, it's also +4/+4 until end of turn. Other than that, Predator's Instinct is pretty nice. Gives something killer. Dormant Sentinel is just a big card. And Bright Mace Paladin can be lifesteal. The lifesteal usually doesn't matter in the deck we're playing. So it'd just be really between probably these 2 green cards, I think. I like Ceremonial Mask, but I'm going to go with the Paladin here. I think it's better to have some good 2-drops, and then we could always cut a Silver Wing, rather than have too many 6-drops. Elysian Pathfinder, sometimes it hits something small, like a Hoover Stranger, which is why the giving top unit Echo doesn't necessarily always help us. On the other hand, Minotaur Grunt, again, it's Warcry. I really like Warcry in this kind of deck. I like Warcry always, honestly. Combray Banner is also on color, helps us splash a little bit better. Sauropod Wrangler, we don't really have anything other than the Plated Goliath that has that much attack. So that's most of the time just going to be a 2/2. So in that case, we'd rather just have Strangers to help us splash rather than this effect, which does nothing. So I'm going to take the Minotaur Grunt. Here we have a Finest Hour, which is great. Amber Acolyte for splash. Another Valkyrie. We don't have the Valkyrie combo card, but this can become a 5/5 flyer on turn 8, so it's still relevant at the end of the game, and at the beginning of the game it's just pinging for 1 damage. That's not too bad. Ornamental Dagger is kind of lesser pick. Not usually that interesting. We want to be giving war cries, not equipment, onto our revenge creatures. So we're going to do Finest Hour. Okay, here we have a Safe Return, a Dune Phantom, and Combray Banner. So Dune Phantom is just a surprise flying blocker. It's usually not going to change the game that much. It can keep you in for a long game, and this kind of deck might want to go long because it's doing a lot of like 1 damage in the air. On the other hand, we have Safe Return. I really kind of like the idea of safe returning Valkyrie Denouncer. So not only do we maybe save it from a removal spell, but also it's now a 4/4, and when it revenges, it's another 4/4. so it's a little bit more value than normal. Cumbre Banner for splash. The Copper Hull Recruit, it's not that exciting. It's just a 2/5, so it's just a body. Probably if we wanted a defender, we'd take the Dune Phantom. And these purple cards are not really worth splashing for. We're not going to play Vengeance at this rate, so we're going to take save for turn. Okay, this is maybe the first not so great pick. We have some off-color cards. The only thing on color is Refresh and Decay. Decay kills an attachment, and we gain 3. And this is either gain 4 or give a unit +4. So obviously giving a unit +4 is better than us doing it. We don't have any benefits for gaining life. So this can be a nice combat trick if they try to play a mortar or something. It basically cancels out a mortar permanently, and then we have a nice big defender. Decay is almost never going to hit something useful. There's a lot of decks that just don't have any attachments, or by the time you draw it, it's too late. So we're going to take Refresh. Here we have a Treasury Guard I don't like. It's a 2/3 endurance, so it can attack and block, but 2/3 is just not that exciting. Accelerate never does really anything. You spend a whole card and 2 mana to get 1 charge unit in your hand. So you could maybe finish someone off if you're in a really aggressive deck, but most of the time it's not going to mean anything. This might be better in a Xenon deck, so like Time Shadow, because you have Infiltrate, so maybe you can surprise Infiltrate with something pretty cool. But most of the time it's not really going to do anything. Initiated Sands helps us get up to our big creatures faster, so I kind of like that, even though most of the time it's probably not doing very much. And Dune Phantom is our flying blocker. Might actually take the Dune Phantom, given these choice, because late game Initiated Sands is not very good either. Here we have Bold Adventurer for just a kind of a big 2-drop. It's a 2/3, which is bigger than most. Or we have Synchronized Strike for a trick. I like Synchronized Strike better, I think. It's a bit more surprising. Well, we're not playing these colors. The Venom Fang Dagger is not really what we want here. It's not going to do enough. On the other hand, we have this shiny holographic Twilight Raptor that I don't have any, so we're just going to take that one instead. I'm not going to play it, but whatever. We'll take Dormant Sentinel for just more big things. It's a really late pick, Bladekin Apprentice. We have a choice between Rebuke, which is silence and stun something, or a dagger. We're going to take the daggers. I'm not going to play Accelerate. I'd rather hate draft this Yeti Spy from someone, even though I'll never probably play against that player, but whatever. Okay, pack 3. So this is mostly worked out. We might not even play these purple cards. Might just not be worth it. We've got a High Branch Sentry if we want another 3-drop, which we might. We're actually kind of short in 3. We have a Humbug Swarm if we want lots of flying units. I don't really like Humbug Swarm. If the opponent has even 1 flyer, this is a lot less interesting. Synchronized Strike, of course, does make that cool, but most of the time it's just not going to do enough. On the other hand, High Branch Sentry is just a 3/3. It helps us live. It sometimes combos with Prosecutor of Arms. We're going to take the Sentry. Well, we also have this Voyaging Lumen. It's just a 5/5. We don't really have any way to gain life except for Refresh, and it's not worth Refresh just to get a Wisp. 6 mana for a 5/5 is probably just not where we want to be. These other cards are not really in our colors. We could take the Banner for splashing. I think we just want the 3/3. Here we finally get a card that is definitely worth splashing. Shadowlands Bone Picker. This is just, again, it's a 3/3, but every time you pay 5, it gets a permanent +2/+1 bonus. So this can quickly become huge and win a game by itself. Or at least make the game a lot more dangerous for your opponent. Other thing we could do is get a Stranger. We don't have too many 2/2s. We could still cut these Silver Wings really without worrying too much. But we're going to definitely take the Shadowlands Bone Picker. Time Weaver is okay. It can potentially double a card in your opponent's hand to make it mostly unplayable. Like if I hit a 5-cost card that's not 10 cost, there's a good chance the game's going to end before they get to play it. But a lot of time it's not going to do enough. Here we have like a Camp Physician, which is weak. It's just a 2/2, gain 3 life. You really want that more in this deck with Blood Color Invoker, where you have these Life Force cards. We don't have any of those. It's more the Xenon colors. Same thing with Voyaging Lumen. But we do see a just a removal 2/2, and I guess it sort of combos with our Streetwise Informant. If we somehow get that, we can get some additional armor for our weapon. Other than that, we have this Skeeter, which is shiny, but or Jack's Knife if we want to be aggressive. I think we just want the removal, just play it safe. Again, Cult Aspirant, Blood Call Invoker, like these are things we don't want in this deck. On the other hand, Extract is worth considering. For 2 purple, it's a removal spell, deal 3 damage. On the other hand, I'm not sure we're actually going to play that. At this point, getting 2 purple might be a little bit too hard. Might just play kind of these 3 purple cards that are pretty good and call it good. I don't think we can really splash for the Extract. The Valkyrie Militant, it's another Valkyrie. When we play weapon, we get 2 armor. So we're getting some not great synergy with our Talon of Nostrix. We're definitely not. It's too expensive. We're not ever going to have that happen. So it's either the Banner or the Stranger. At this point, we've got 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 5 2-drops. We don't need that Stranger that much. I'm actually going to take the Banner. We have Piercing Grief if we want to be aggressive. It's sort of our splash color, so I don't think it's really worth it. I don't think that's how our deck is going to win. We also have Sandviper. Sandviper is blocker, keeps big things from attacking. Ooh, yeah. We get a second Shadowlands Bone Picker. It's really what we want to see. Okay. And now we get a Direwood Prowler. This is very nice. It's 5/5. Sometimes draw 2 cards. Especially if we can sacrifice like a Silver Wing that we're going to get back anyway. That's not going to be a big deal. We might be able to switch our emphasis from this white-green to more like a green-purple. That could be okay. Because the other options is just another big blocker for 3, or this Kopesh, which is overcosted. We have a Banner for a splash. Yeah, I think it's Banner at this point. We can always cut some of these 2-drops. We're not that in desperate need. Okay, I guess this pack is an empty pack for us. There's nothing here. Let's take the Purify. Given this, I'll take the Uncommon. It's worth a little bit more dust. Again, just Uncommon for dust at this point. Okay. So, pack 4. We're starting to get a pretty good looking deck with our 2 Shadowland Bone Pickers. With this Divining Rod, um, so what this does is you play all the units from the top 4 cards of your deck that share a skill with the wielder that you equip it on. This ends up working kind of weird. So if we equip it on this Crown Watch Paladin, anything with Warcry or Aegis in the top 4 cards gets played. So sometimes that's going to be like a Minotaur Grunt. If we put it on the Viper, we can get Deadly Things, but I think that's the only one. Probably we put it on something with flying. So Stalwart Silverwing, in which case we can maybe pick up Denouncer. I don't know. I don't really think that that's going to do anything for us. Most of the time it's just not. On the other hand, what do we have? We've got Gilded Glaive that has just 2/2 and give +2/+2 whenever you play a power card. That's pretty good. I've had very good experience with that. Xena Destroyer is just another 3/3 dumb guy. In fact, he attacks in recklessly every turn. That's not so great. But maybe. I mean, if we're planning on switching. But I think Gilded Glaive is fine enough. I think green is probably must play at this point. Ooh, we have a shiny Awakened Student. This is exactly the kind of 2-drop we want to round out our team. This guy can also really cause a lot of trouble because of that permanent +1/+1 every time you empower. Ancient Lore is some card draw, and sometimes they get a little bit more powerful. It's not too bad. That's really all there is in our colors. There's another Daggers, but it was sort of a hard pick already. So I don't think we're going to take another one. We're taking the Student. This Permafrost is amazing. It's an amazing card. But it's not our color. We have this Amber Monument, which is actually pretty good. This is a land, and when you have 5 mana, it actually turns into a 5/5 trample. So that's really good. Combray Stranger is also a on-color stranger, which is nice. And we have this Loyal Watchwing for yet another like 3 mana, but at this point I think our 3 mana is probably solid. We're gonna take the, and it's only a 1/1. It is a Warcry, which is nice, but it's a little bit weak. So we're definitely taking the Monument. Okay, here we have maybe a Stranger. Do we have enough Strangers? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And some Silverwings. We don't really need the Stranger. We could also take the Amber Acolyte. That'll help us with our splash. Especially because we have some double-costed cards. I do like the Acolyte here. Alternative is also Blood Beetle. Blood Beetle works out fairly well most of the time. I've had good experience with it. I'm going to take the Acolyte. We have another safe return. It's okay. Like I said, like, it's not premium exactly. It sort of counters 1 removal. Can sometimes get some additional value. On the other hand, we have Inspire, which essentially gives 1 Warcry to the top of our deck, and we draw a card. So it's a free card for us. I tend to like Inspire. It used to be cheaper. It was too powerful. So now it's 2 mana instead of 1 mana. I think I'm taking it. Okay, here we have a Praxis Displacer. This just bounces an enemy unit back to the hand. We have a Diplomatic Seal for splashing. Another Synchronized Strike. We're definitely not going to run. We have too many tricks at this point with Refresh and Synchronized Strike, which are not as good as Finest Hour. Or we have an Alchemical Blast. I think it's really between Diplomatic Seal and Praxis Displacer. My 4-drops are actually quite limited, so I'm going to take the Displacer. This can sometimes bounce something big, or if something's equipped, you can basically, you kill the equipment by playing that. Civic Peacekeeper, not as good as you might think, but every time you empower, you can stun, so that can kind of help you finish off a game. But it's not really as good as you might think it is. I used to like it, but it hasn't really worked out most of the time. Um, Sanctuary Priest, just some life gain. Might just be Sanctuary Priest, I guess. I don't think we're going to play it. Can also teleport. That can be same thing as a safe return, but more expensive, and you don't get the +1/+1. I don't think we really want that. Yet another awakened student, and it's also shiny. This is what I'm talking about. We're definitely taking that. The other thing is a shiny Initiated Sands, which is, I mean, it's shiny, but it's not that exciting. The awakened student will win us games. Crownwatch Longsword is the only thing on color. We'll take a Stranger. And we'll take another Stranger. We'll take Alchemical Blast. Yeah, so we got all the Strangers we wanted, even though we didn't take them when we probably should have. Okay, great, great. Now you can see here. Here's our deck. This is a little bit weird at this point. These awakened students. Maybe we don't end up playing the Direwood Prowler after all. We might want to just have a really aggressive awakened student-based deck. Maybe it's okay to have a couple expensive cards. We have way too many 2-drops. We have Sanctuary Priest, not worth it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11-ish. Yeah, that's definitely too many. I'm gonna cut a Silverwing. I think I probably cut a Stranger. I don't know which Stranger I cut, but I probably cut one of them. Ornamental Daggers, maybe also worth cutting. Sandstorm is a combat trick that can sometimes kill a flyer, and it draws you a card, so it usually works out. Here, Amber Ring might actually be too slow. I think we have enough stuff to do with our mana, with our 2 Shadowland Bone Pickers, and our Streetwise Informant. It's nice to have stuff you can do with mana even when you have no cards in your hand. That's why the Ring is sometimes nice. But here I think it's not necessary. So we have 3 power. So we want to cut like 4 more cards. Really want to be playing these awakened students every game if possible. That's why I'm thinking of cutting this Prowler. If I cut the Prowler, it makes it a little bit easier to play these awakened students on turn 2. I could probably cut the... Yeah, I just don't know if I want to cut the things off the top. I'll cut the Dormant Sentinel. Just, it's a little bit expensive. Probably cut the Feln Stranger. I mean, it's the same as the Stone Scar, but just cut that one. Yeah, so now we only have to hit 1 purple, which is a lot easier. We still have Alchemical Blast. I think we cut it. And here we're pretty much at the right number. It still feels like a little bit heavy on the 2, to the point where maybe we want to add back this 7 cost. Oops, where is it? I want to add that back in, maybe cut out the Longsword. And we can cut out the Silverwing. I don't think we need it that much. I mean, it can sometimes be clever with like a Gilded Glaive on a Silverwing or something. Or yeah, we get those Inspires on it, but most of the time it's probably just going to be a 1/1. It's annoying, it's like a 1/1 ping in the air every turn, but it's just not that good. I think we're fine here. We're a little bit short on turn 4 and turn 5. But on turn 5, we can be using our Shadowlands Bone Pickers. So this could be okay. Not with one land. Yeah, so something like this, and then we can Talent, kill their 2-drop, play the High Branch Sentry or the Phantom for a surprise defender. Yeah, I mean, it's okay. We might have a couple rough starts, it looks like. We really want to be hitting Awakened Student every game, but we might not be able to do it. Okay, well, I think we got to give this a try. I'll see you in game 1.